They have deferred, so they will kick off. We will see how much of a new look Purdue offense takes the field immediately. Gavin Lom has touchbacks on 16 of his 18 kickoffs this year. And Elijah Jackson is back deep. He'll watch it land over his head and hit in the end zone. So here is Purdue's offense. Jason Simmons, the new offensive coordinator, is on the field, something that we'll be watching closely today. And there's quarterback Hudson Card. You look at his stats, but that's not really the story today. It's what they do to maximize what he's capable of.
Yeah, Coach Walters has raved about him since the moment he committed here and transferred in. They think he has all the talent in the world. Remember, he made honorable mention all conference last year, so clearly talented. But they just want to maximize that talent with new schemes, new personnel, and a new system.
Well, they do roll and throw on the first snap of the game. And it's caught and bumped out of bounds. Denylon Morissette. There's Jason Simmons. We had an awesome conversation with him on Wednesday talking about his new role.
Yeah, and a big piece of this for Coach Walters, before he talked about X's and O's or football IQ, he said what he likes about Simmons is his ability to connect with the players. And I just think about how challenging the start to this season has been. 1-3, it's been frustrating. There's great value in that. Not only to have a fresh set of eyes calling plays, but a guy that connects with the players so their belief can increase in some of these new plays and some of this new system.
Well, you have to like the first play, a pass of 13 yards to Morissette. Now an outside zone run, and Maccabee is hit at the 40-yard line. A pickup of 2 as we see the remainder of the starting Boilermakers offense.
Big piece of this in terms of the passing game is they've just been injured. You know, starting back in the offseason, their wide receiver 1, Deion Burks, transfers out. Jamal Edrin was then their wide receiver 1. Well, he's been injured to start the year, but they're excited to have him back. Max Clare has really been their #1 passing target. And really what you're seeing here early in the game, Mark, is bigger personnel. They were 85% plus 11 personnel to start the season.
And there's a flag down. A pass is caught on what was officially 2nd and 7, and enough for the first down if the play stands on the completion to Max Clare.
And it won't.
2nd down.
Referee Chris Coit with the indication of a penalty for a hold against Purdue.
Well, this has been another frustrating part of their season. It looks good, you know, they're getting into bigger personnels, they're shifting, they're motioning, they're able to move the ball, they're winning first down, and then you get a penalty to bring you all the way back. They just don't have the talent right now to overcome it. Got to avoid those penalties. Not a great start.
Especially after what happened last week, 165 penalty yards, and now a pass to Max Clare out of the left flat is dropped. The Badgers starting defense. Let's look at the personnel.
And they're going to really try to get after Hudson Card this afternoon. Purdue's offensive line is 15th in terms of allowing sacks in the conference. That's traditionally been a strength for Wisconsin, is getting after the quarterback. So get the sense, talking to defensive coordinator Coach Tressel, they're going to want to bring pressure here in a 3rd and long situation. You'd expect to see some of that right now.
Morissette went in motion. To the outside on the run. Maccabee over the 40-yard line and picks up a nice chunk of yards. 11 on the run, but leaving them well short of a first down because of the 3rd and long situation.
Still encouraging, though. Like, they're getting yards. They're getting chunk yards. Obviously, the penalty is the single reason that drive stalled, but so far, you're seeing some of the things that Simmons mentioned he wanted to implement, which is bigger personnel, bringing in more tight ends, bringing in extra bodies on the offensive line, and trying to simplify things for Hudson Card, their talented quarterback.
Mississippi State transfer Keelan Crimmins is the punter, over 45 yards this year. And needing to be sure-handed today, Tyrell Henry, and he catches it inside the 20-yard line. It was a 45-yard punt, and the return went for 10 yards. With 12:21 left in the first quarter, 1 first down, and then Purdue has to punt the ball away. And the Badgers, led by quarterback Braden Locke in his 2nd start and 50% completion percentage last year and the last 2 weeks and all of this season as well.
He's consistent, but that's not the number you want to see. It's the second lowest amongst Big Ten quarterbacks besides Northwestern's Jack Lausch. And, talking to Fickell, it's not just on Locke. His receivers had far too many drops last week. Everyone around him has to step up.
Starting Tawee Walker. And it's Locke at deep ball. This starts at the 23-yard line. And looking for Vinny Anthony down the sideline. Badgers starting offense.
Tawee Walker is going to get the start today with Ches Malusi stepping away from the team. But another guy to keep an eye on that's not mentioned right here is their running back, true freshman Darian Dupree. Coach Fickell mentioned they just want to run the ball more, and they want to, instead of giving their carries to 4 or 5 guys like they've been doing throughout the season, they want all those carries to really go to Walker and Dupree.
Locke on the roll, and opts just throw it into the turf.
Number 9 is in the area. It's 3rd down.
There's the explanation, of course, from Chris Coit, and this is Purdue's starting defense.
This is a unique scheme. That's a 5-man front right there. Is it a 3-4 or 5-2? It's hard to define. The fact of the matter is those guys are coming downhill. Once we get to the secondary, I want to point out Botris Alessandro on the left side there, number 19. He's getting the start as Markevius Brown. The number 1 corner for Purdue is no longer with the team. That's a big storyline to follow.
Ball's out from Locke. And it bounces off the intended receiver along the sideline, looking for Will Pauling. And the coverage provided by Kendrick Breedlove.
This passing game runs through Will Pauling. I mean, that's an accurate pass. That's something for Will Pauling, who's been the wide receiver 1 since he transferred here with Coach Fickell. He's been the go-to guy. And 3rd and 10, that's a plenty accurate pass from Braden Locke. Will Pauling has to find a way to come down with that. He had drops last week,
including a key one late in the first half of the game. Atticus Bertrams had a 74-yard punt in the first half last week in the loss to USC, and this one is fumbled. Thieneman is back on it. Dylan Thieneman, it bounces off his pads. He's back on it. Boilermakers do have the ball after a 47-yard punt by Bertrams. Remember, there was a fumble punt last week that Wisconsin recovered, but Thieneman alertly gets back on top of it. We're back right after this. Stay tuned.
Let's take a look at today's Impact Players, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Purdue's really excited to get wide receiver Jamal Edgerrin back. Missed all of last year with an ACL. He's back. He's their wide receiver 1. When he was gone, the tight end Max Clare became their wide receiver 1. Probably one of the more underrated tight ends in the conference. Speaking of Iron Man, that's Hunter Waller for Wisconsin's defense. You can find him around the ball. Peyton Hill, Elijah Hills on the inside has been their most impressive D-lineman.
And now here's Elijah Jackson, a player that Jason Simmons said they wanted to get on the field because of his big playability, and he runs the jet sweep for 8 yards on first down.
A lot of the things that Coach Simmons told us he wanted to emphasize are already being shown. What do you say? We're an outside zone team. We want to emphasize that. The outside zone's been working. 12 personnel. They've been in bigger personnels here to start the game. You can see right now they're in 12 personnel. And then getting Elijah Jackson involved. They love his speed. They want to find ways to create some explosives. That's what Jackson provides.
Jackson now 4 carries this season, 91 yards, freshman from Indianapolis. And in the backfield, nowhere to go. Reggie Love on the run. And down he goes. John Pius made the play.
It takes all 11, Mark. Drew Bibber's coming across. That's just a basic zone play with tight end number 80, Drew Bibber. He's supposed to block the defensive end and didn't even get a piece of him. Again, when you're struggling like Purdue has offensively, every single guy has to do his job to the best ability. That's a basic block, and the play was dead before it started because of it.
It's a long 2 needed on 3rd down. Good pocket for Card. Incomplete, looking for Edgerrin. The man who had 7 interceptions last season, Ricardo Hallman, on the coverage.
It's going to be a fun matchup. Hallman is the best defensive back for Wisconsin. You mentioned the interceptions last year. Teams really haven't tried him as much to start the season. I know Purdue's excited to get Jamal Edgerrin back. He's their 6'3", long downfield wide receiver. Just weren't able to connect on that pass there.
Interesting note about the Boilermaker offense: 3 and outs against FBS opponents on 45% of their drives. The problem, Jason Simmons said this week, is that really hampers rhythm for the offensive line. Fair catch, 43-yard punt. Fair caught at the 21-yard line. We're back right after this. Here are today's Impact Players, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance.
The passing game for Wisconsin runs through Will Pauling, but he's got to catch the ball. It was an issue last week. Dropped one there on 3rd down on the last drive. Keep an eye on Darian Dupree. You think about the history of great Wisconsin running backs. They have a case to be RBU in college football. They think he's next up. Dylan Thieneman, the freshman All-American, everywhere across the field. And then Kadron Jenkins was their edge rusher last year. Now they moved him off the ball. He plays a little bit everywhere. Their best guy down in the box.
We haven't seen Dupree yet. We see the first carry for the transfer from Oklahoma, Tawee Walker, who cut the ball back, absorbed a hit, and got close to the first down.
You'll take it however you can get it, right? I mean, he's trying to run outside zone to the left. Purdue does a good job of getting things bottled up, but no one keeps contained on the backside, and it's a good job by Walker just feeling that and sensing that, coming all the way back around for a nice chunk 9-yard carry.
147 rushing yards for Walker this year. Will Helt brought him down after a 9-yard gain. First down, the first one of the game for the Badgers, as Walker easily picks up the needed yard. It's their first down in the last 11 snaps for both teams.
The team that can run the ball consistently and successfully this day will be the winner. I know Wisconsin, they were so excited about the air raid system, bringing in Phil Longo, but they have got to run the ball.
Now to pass. And it's the first completion of the day. Tight end Tucker Ashcraft, his 3rd catch of the year, goes for about 5.
Another chance to highlight the change of this offense. Tight ends were such a big piece of Wisconsin the past 2 decades, and now in the air raid, the role has changed, though they do really like Tucker Ashcraft.
Going with tempo and a flip to Walker, and Walker is stood up, 40-yard line. Joe Anderson, Will Helt, Cole Brevard among those who play it well on the outside.
And I don't, that's a interesting play call, running the option into the boundary with a guy in lock that doesn't traditionally carry the football. Good job by Purdue reading that and shutting it down right away.
In his 2nd season as offensive coordinator for the Badgers, Phil Longo never had a quarterback in his previous stops as an OC with a completion percentage below 55%. Lock. Oh, dangerous throw. There's Botros Alessandro jumping in front of the intended receiver, Bryson Green. Remember, Alessandro is starting. You have mentioned it, Jake, but Markevius Brown leaving the Purdue program, we found out this morning.
And Purdue's defense is all about man-to-man. So watch the tight end here on the inside, number 38, Tucker Ashcraft. I thought Locke had a chance to bang it on him right there. A hitch route really isn't great versus man-to-man coverage. You're kind of just stopped and dead. And Ashcraft did a better job of uncovering. Locke didn't miss, just missed him.
For Manchester, New Hampshire, the coverage provided there by Alessandro. And now Thieneman looks up into the sun and fumbles the punt again. He doesn't get it this time. The Badgers do. Two fumbled punts early in the game. And it looks like the long snapper, Kason Pfeiffer, got down.
Yep, and it's 11 a.m. local kick here, so the sun is high up in the middle of the sky. And, I mean, Thieneman, you saw him try to cover up his eyes. It looked like he couldn't see the ball, but, Thieneman is probably the most trustworthy guy on Purdue's roster. That's part of the reason they have him back there. You have to have some situational awareness. It's not worth the risk to try to field that punt. Huge mistake there, Purdue. Once again, beating themselves.
And here's a running play, and just like last week, they score on the first play after the fumbled punt was recovered. 12-yard run, Tawee Walker.
This is how quickly things can happen in football. Purdue's defense with a great stop. They get a chance to get the ball back. They put one of their most trusted guys back there in Dylan Thieneman, and he fumbles the punt again. Great job by Wisconsin taking advantage of that opportunity. Great job by the Wisconsin offensive line as well, Mark. They just moved Purdue right down the field.
Nathaniel Bakos hits the extra points. 7-0 lead, 7 minutes into the game. Thieneman fumbled his first punt and recovered. Not as fortunate on the second attempt. Case and Pfeiffer falls on it. Tawee Walker runs it in from 12 yards out. Badgers up 7-0. Last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Dylan Thieneman. You know that fumbled punt has got to hurt. Here's the scoring drive presented by Marathon after the fumbled punt. Recovered by Wisconsin. One play, 12 yards. Tawee Walker takes it in. History repeats itself. They scored immediately after recovering a muffed punt by USC last week.
So much momentum, such a big part of football. And great job by Wisconsin taking advantage of that opportunity. And now for Purdue, man, did they need a response.
Experience the expanded Big Ten Conference like never before with Big Ten Plus. You can stream thousands of non-televised live events across the Big Ten. Plus, enjoy next-day game replays for every Big Ten game. Just subscribe right now at BigTenPlus.com. They need a response. How do you look for that response? What are you looking for with regard to that?
I've liked what they've shown to start the game. It's just you need all 11 guys to do your job, right? I mean, they were in a 2nd and short on the last drive. Your tight end completely whiffs, and then you lose a 50-50 ball on 3rd down. It's just that's the difference in football. It's a game of inches.
Running, Mockabee through a hole, broke one tackle, slung down around the 30-yard line. Down to the field to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on the Purdue sidelines. Jason Simmons and Hudson Card just communicating there. Jason told me that this week they were really going to use that comm system. He said he started using it for the first time this week, really just trying to get a feel for how it works. When it comes to working with Hudson, though, he mentioned that he needs to be intentional, not overwhelm him with too much information. Hudson told me that they trust each other and their communication has been solid. He feels like they're on the same page with the play calls, allowing him to just go out there and do his job, guys.
Another tight end. Ben Furtney is in the game right now in the backfield. With over 2,000 rushing yards in his Boilermakers career, Devin Mockabee has just added more to it. Enough for a first down on 2nd and 5, officially 7 when he's bumped out of bounds.
And you know, you wonder this week, how different was it going to look with Simmons calling plays? And you can't just reinvent, you can't implement an entire new playbook. But the difference right now early in the game is just from a personnel standpoint, bringing in extra tight ends, bringing in bigger bodies. That's led to some success here early running the ball.
Different formations, shifts in motion, all things that Jason Simmons brought up to us this week as wrinkles and changes that they can make. That running play is a pickup of 4 for Mockabee.
It's so easy to love Devin Mockabee. That guy plays his heart out every single week. There's just not been enough space for him to get going. And I'm excited to see as this game goes on today, Devin Mockabee versus the defensive front of Wisconsin.
Well, he's had a chance to run the ball 3 straight times, but goes out of the game now. Merriweather at running back. Quick throw Card. Pass is caught. Shamar Rigby at the 45-yard line.
Look at all the shifts, the motions, all the window dressing pre-snap. Trying to get clues and keys from what Wisconsin's trying to do here. 3rd and 2, the entire playbook's wide open. You know, I'd expect at some point today, Hudson Card will use his feet. They love his athleticism. This could be a great opportunity to showcase some of that.
The last 3rd and 2 was a pass in a man-covered situation on the sideline that was incomplete. This is a run, and Darrell Peterson comes down the line to make the play for the Badgers. It's a 1-yard gain on 3rd and 2.
Man, he just exploded right from the time the ball was snapped here. Watch him there on the edge. So Wisconsin's blocking down with their extra tight end, that's Coley. He's an extra offensive lineman, and you better block Daryl Peterson. And that's where pulling the ball as a quarterback allows you to gain an extra number. If you're going to leave the edge unblocked like that, traditionally you give Hudson Card the chance to pull it. When you don't have enough bodies to block him, you need to gain a number. You do that by letting the quarterback run.
Punt comes out. Henry looking for a fair catch for the second time today and makes it inside the 10-yard line. It's a 7-0 lead for the Badgers at home. Celebrating Fansville, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a Pepper thing. What a great atmosphere. You see it all around the country, but especially here in Madison, Wisconsin. Yeah, they're going to jump around later today, and you'll see plenty of coverage of that here on the Big Ten Network. 7-0 Wisconsin over Purdue. 4:38 left in the first quarter. Poor field position. This drive starts at the 9-yard line. Tommy Walker, still the featured running back. And Walker plunges over the 10, gains 3.
Talk about the atmosphere. I've played for Michigan. I played in a ton of stadiums in the Big Ten. Now I've been in this industry for a few years. Never played here in Madison. Never called a game here in Madison. So, I've been really excited to get a chance and be here in this environment. Can't wait to be a part of the jump around there later in the game.
And not only the environment great, you couldn't ask for a better day up in the 70s. Another running play. The ball squirts out at the end. The play clearly indicated as down. A gain of 2 for Walker, bringing up 3rd down and around 5. Let's confirm, in fact, if it was down.
Yeah, down. Yes.
With the capital D.
Yes.
Definitely down.
Okay, 3rd and 5. What you're going to see is Purdue's not even going to disguise it. One-on-one man coverage across the board. They have that 5-man front to try to create one-on-one matchups.
Good pocket for Locke. And it's a breakup. Pauling the intended receiver.
Flag.
And a late flag. Breedlove had made the play. He'd already
Pass
made
interference,
one.
defense number 10, spot foul, automatic first down.
He'd already had one PBU on 3rd down today. Breedlove did, but called for pass interference there.
This is obviously this has been an issue for Purdue. And Ryan Walters, he wants to be aggressive. He wants to play one-on-one coverage. He wants to play man-to-man. This is the risky side of that.
For the first time now, Darian Dupree is in the game, freshman. And you can see him running downhill, but they've gone the other way. And that's Riley Nowakowski. And Nowakowski with the catch and a gain of 6. So there's Darian Dupree, Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. He's had some carries this year. 16 carries for 61
Timeout for an
yards.
injured player of the offense.
There is a timeout, as you heard Chris Coit say, an injured player for the Badger offense. So Darian Dupree, as a senior at Mount Carmel High School, ran for nearly 11 yards, but Jake, how about this? Had over 750 receiving yards as a running back.
I think he's the total package, and there's a number of schools that consider themselves running back university. Wisconsin's certainly right there in that conversation. A long line and rich history of elite running back play. With Braylon Allen in the NFL, Ches Malusi stepping away, talking to Phil Longo and Luke Fickell. They weren't shy about it. They think Darian Dupree is next in line. And as you mentioned, as this game goes on, considering how much man-to-man Purdue plays, they said he's a great route runner and a great pass catcher as well.
Now Dupree runs. There's a flag thrown in on Darian Dupree's first carry of the day, and it looks like it will negate it.
Hands to the face.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face, defense number 0, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jeffrey Mba.
Initially, I saw the official point to Wisconsin. But once again, I mean, the penalties, gosh, they have killed Purdue all year, and they're killing them once again here to start the game. Let's see where number 0 is. Okay. It looked like it happened a little bit earlier there.
Timeout, Purdue, their first of the half, 30 seconds.
2:36 left in the first quarter. We're back in 30 seconds. Wisconsin with the football, leading 7-0. Purdue last week, 165 penalty yards, the most by any Big Ten team since, you could go back and research that officially, since 2000. Here's the flip, off to the right side, Tretch Kekuhana. Kekuhana with the running play, officially a pass up to the 48-yard line. And this year, 92 penalty yards per game, third most in FBS for Purdue. Meanwhile, the Badgers fourth fewest at about 26 yards.
No team likes penalties, but especially for a team like Purdue that's really trying to find themselves and figure out who they want to be. You know, football's hard enough when things go well, but they're beating themselves with the penalties.
And here's Locke throwing, and he makes a layered throw, finds an open receiver, running to the 10, and in, score, touchdown, Vinny Anthony.
Well, Coach Fickle said early this week that they really wanted to get Vinny Anthony involved. He showed some great explosion. Watch there at the top of the screen. It starts with the read option fake. And as Braden Locke's working his way out towards Nyland Green, it looked like Nyland Green got lost. He didn't know if he should come up and play the run to try to hit Braden Locke. But that was a nice, accurate throw. And then Vinny Anthony with the explosion, making one guy miss and a nice big touchdown. Vinny Anthony had his coming out party last week and picking up right back where he left off. Blows a kiss to the fans. We'll see you guys in 30 seconds.
Last week in the first quarter of the game, Braden Locke threw a 63-yard touchdown pass to Vinny Anthony. In today's first quarter, he just threw a 52-yard touchdown pass to Vinny Anthony. Those are his 2 touchdown grabs on the year, officially 9 catches this season for Vinny Anthony. Louisville, Kentucky.
Once again, Purdue, I mean, this is a mental battle. A frustrating start to the game. They really need to put together a drive here.
Football on the Big Ten Network is presented to you by Marathon, proud to save drivers and their co-pilots up to $1 per gallon. And by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. An hour and 35 minutes before kickoff this morning, Jason Simmons, the interim offensive coordinator, he was learning the ins and outs of the helmet comms system. We rehearsed in TV, he had to rehearse the helmet comms. And he told us on Wednesday, he said, I'm going to have to make a big boy decision about whether or not I'm going to be in the booth or on the sideline. Obviously, he's chosen the sideline. Play fake to Reggie Love, and pressure's coming. Stepped away from Thomas, Card did, but then he gets nailed. Officially, Sebastian Cheeks, the transfer from North Carolina, with a sack for a loss of 7 yards.
So Purdue wants to get some more explosive plays downfield. So this is a big play action in a shot, but it doesn't matter if the offensive line can't protect. And right away, Hudson Card has Jake Chaney in his face. They had some separation. That was Jamal Edgerton we showed you there. Cam Brown was running a post from the left slot. I thought he had some separation, just not enough time.
To the edge, Love. Big hit. And a punishing hit applied by Hunter Wohler.
Oh, my goodness. Jim Harbaugh once told me the ultimate compliment I can give you is to say you're a football player. What does that mean? You know it when you see it. Hunter Wohler is a football player. Never comes out of the game, seems that he plays every single snap, and he loves contact. Kind of a throwback safety here.
Led the Badgers in tackles last year and does this year as well. Purdue 0 for 3 today on 3rd down. And it's a pass breakup. Oh, and nearly intercepted. A paw on the ball by Christian Allegro, one of the linebackers, and then it almost carried back to him for the pick.
It was a really nice play because there was some space there on the dig route. That's the right concept for that coverage, as Hudson Card was looking for Tibbs. But Allegro just had that awareness. He felt the dig coming behind him, was able to get a hand on it, and just a nice play.
Yesterday, Mike Tressel raved about Tackett Curtis and Christian Allegro. Really loves those linebackers who are the twos. Going to be another fair catch. And it's made at the 34-yard line. We're back in 15 seconds to Camp Randall. See, Luke Fickell, defensive coordinator Mike Tressel, said yesterday that they do have a bit of a different third down package after USC went 11 of 17 on third downs last week. Purdue is 0 for 4 now today. Dupree, his second series, he runs the ball. Runs the ball for 2 on what appears to be the final play of the first quarter here in Madison.
Was interested to see how Wisconsin was going to respond. A tough loss all the way out on the West Coast, traveling home. They've started fast today, Mark.
Yes, they have. Walker and Anthony, the touchdowns. On to the second. After one quarter, Wisconsin leading Purdue at home 14-0. What a trip for Big Ten tailgate next Saturday, out to the Rose Bowl to get you ready for another thrilling day of football. The fun starts at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Tipped in the air, incomplete.
Oh, they needed not a single turnover on the year for this Purdue team. Oh, and that was hand delivered to Nyland Green. Look at there's the tip by Thieneman. Oh my gosh. You have to make that play. They need someone somehow, somewhere to make a play. That's a huge missed opportunity. My goodness.
Still the only FBS team in 2024 without a takeaway. 3rd and 7, and do they have a takeaway? Now they do! It is intercepted by Kendrick Breedlove.
And another drop. That was Will Pauling once again.
The reviews are going to be very important here, and you don't like to see that. No. Will Pauling being helped off the field. He can't put any pressure on his right leg.
It was close. Okay. What a great shot by our crew there, wow. Too, huh?
Never
clean.
Touched the ground.
Interception. Oh.
Again, the ball hits Pauling in the hands. Then it's on his body. Here comes Kendrick Breedlove.
I think I'm a believer in the announcer jinx now, too, right? We're just talking about
There's no such thing. There's no commentator curse.
Man, I hope Will Pauling is all right, but it's been a few weeks now where he's struggled to catch the ball, and that time led to an interception.
Maccabee. This is great field position after the interception at the 45. It's a gain of 4 on first down.
You have to find a way to get the first down on this drive. What are your best 2 plays here? You'd love to avoid third down altogether. What's your best play? Get that first down, and then if I'm Purdue, I'm thinking about taking another shot. It's a big opportunity here to get right back in this game.
57 total yards for Purdue, but they have a moment. Play fake, roll, turns down a pass to Furtney to throw it deeper, and Jamal Edrin is there along the sideline to catch it, and out of bounds at the 30-yard line And we have an injury update from Brooke Fletcher on the sideline.
Yeah, just an update on Bryson Green. He was helped off the field and taken to the medical tent. He came out with a brace on his left knee. I'm told it's a knee injury, and he's on the bike right now. You can see he's been talking with trainers, just trying to get a feel. He's questionable to go back in, guys.
And then, of course, add to that the fact that we just saw Will Pauling limping off the field. The Boilermakers' longest gain of the day, 15 yards. A toss to Maccabee and upended by Jake Chaney in the backfield. It's a TFL.
Man, the instincts and the closing speed by Jake Chaney, that's the standard here. Great linebacker play by Wisconsin. And Jake Chaney, there was never a doubt where that ball was going, and he was shot out of a cannon. My goodness, nice play.
Second on the team last year with 80 total tackles, but more importantly, the tackle there for a loss of 2. Second down and 12. Card running out of real estate, but he finds Max Clare out of bounds. Short game.
That's where that play by Jake Chaney is so critical. Purdue finally, you get a nice play, you get down 1st and 10. As we prove it right there, nice catch, yep, that's a catch. But Jake Chaney triggering and forcing Purdue to go backwards on 1st down is what now leads to a 3rd and long situation. You got 2 shots at this. I think Purdue has to go for it if they fall short.
And they've only attempted 2 field goals this year. They were both last week, made 1, missed 1.
Oh.
That may change the approach.
Start. Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Later tonight, the Gophers and Trojans meet at a top 25 Saturday night volleyball showdown. Coverage begins at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. That's after a football game on the Big Ten Network between Minnesota and USC last night. Minnesota defeated UCLA in 5 sets, and USC a win over Michigan last night.
Just hang out with us. We'll give you good sports content all day long.
3rd and 13, a long time to throw. Everybody covered as someone sprung open. No, incompletion. Chaney on coverage on a pass that was intended for Reggie Love.
Holding, defense, number 12, 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Wow.
Now Purdue gets the benefit from a 3rd down penalty.
Max Lofi, who went out of last week's game, by the way.
There he is up in the top left of the screen, working on Max Clare, the tight end. And yep, there's an official that's looking right specifically at that area of the field. An easy call.
Lofi had back spasms about an hour before last week's game. Didn't play. Card throws, turning it up the field, and out of bounds is Jerron Tibbs. And Tibbs puts the Boilermakers now in a 1st and goal situation.
I really like the game that Simmons has called here. Really, Purdue, I mean, they beat themselves, but the offense looks comfortable and in rhythm. Now this is another test as a play caller down in the low red zone.
A drive that started after the Boilermakers create their 1st turnover of the year. Kendrick Breedlove an interception. On 1st and goal at the 9. Maccabee for 3. From the 6, Maccabee in motion. Card, designed running play to the edge. And Jaheim Thomas and Preston Zachman stopping well short of the end zone around the 3-yard line.
And again, the mindset to me remains with this opportunity, you're thinking 7. You're thinking a touchdown. So you really got 2 plays at this. And with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised to see Simmons run the ball here.
As the interim offensive coordinator, you just saw on the sideline, Jason Simmons was an offensive analyst, elevated earlier this week.
Ryan Brown in at quarterback. That's guard down there below on the numbers.
Brown at quarterback, and he's running, and he pitches it on the option, and it's a poor pitch. Mockabee managed to catch it, the most important part of it, but then goes out of bounds at the line of scrimmage, forced out by Hunter Wohler.
I don't understand that play call. I don't understand why you bring in Ryan Brown to do that. Hudson Card's, he's plenty athletic. That was almost a critical error. I mean, what a play by Mockabee to come down with that. But I don't understand why you bring in Ryan Brown to run an option out to the field.
From Brownsburg, Indiana, Spencer Plorath, 1 for 2 last week, made from 45, missed from 36, hits here from 21. They do get points. Not the ideal scenario, however. Purdue on the board. Badgers lead 14-3. Here's today's coaching profile, sponsored by Discover. Luke Fickell, since 2018, 5th amongst active FBS coaches in wins. His 2nd full season at Wisconsin. Having to really lean into his experience after losing the last 2 games. He said, we played the #1 team in the nation and a near top 10 team on the road. There's a lot of football to be played and out in front of us. We're trying to build confidence. We're trying to hammer on winning habits. We're trying to stay process-oriented.
There's an urgency and a standard here for the Badgers. I mean, they've been one of the more successful programs in all of college football. Most wins without a playoff appearance. And, to go get Fickell, you risked a little bit. They knew you were chasing higher heights. You wanted to get into the playoffs. And for Fickell, that meant revamping their offense.
You're just not accustomed to seeing Wisconsin in that spot in the Big Ten standings, no matter whether or not it's an expanded conference or not.
Yes.
It was a very difficult game against USC last week. Led 21-10 at the half. Lost 38-21.
The offense pre-Fickell is 22, 23 personnel, multiple tight ends, bring in a fullback, heavy run. They went from that to having no fullbacks on the roster. So it takes time, right? Like, you've recruited and developed an identity. Fickell brings in Longo to implement the air raid system. Like, you're reimagining the identity of the Wisconsin offense.
Block a long time, and it's complete on 2nd down and 6 to Tyrell Henry, one of the receivers having to play right now because of the receiver situation. Remember that Bryson Green is questionable to come back, and Will Pauling limped off. Going tempo. That was for 12 yards to Henry. Will Heltz with the play on the run by Tawee Walker down to the field of Brooke Fletcher.
Update on Will Pauling, guys. He came out of the tent with a brace on his right knee, went on the bike with trainers. He's on the sideline just trying to get a feel right there. I'm told it's also a lower body injury, questionable to return. Now 2 players with lower body injuries in that wideout room. A big hit for them.
Has his helmet on. That's 2 players, by the way, who have caught 33 combined passes in the first 4 games of the year. So you understand their importance to the offense.
The benefit is Locke's had all day to throw. So unless Purdue starts getting some pressure up front, it doesn't matter.
Their first of the half.
Well, they almost took all day to snap it, and so they call a timeout with 7:06 left in the 2nd quarter. Wisconsin up 14-3 this season. Abbott in the Big Ten want to know who has the most team spirit in their blood. They're calling on all fans to join the largest blood donation competition to fight a generational blood shortage. Sign up today at bigten.org/Abbott. Students can get involved in this. By the way, there's mobile blood drives on campus or at any blood donation center across the country. The winning school will receive $1 million to advance student or community health. And Breedlove with a pass breakup. Tretch Kekahuna, the intended target of the Braden Locke pass. 3rd down and 6 upcoming.
That's great coverage. And a lot of this game is going to be decided, can Wisconsin beat man coverage? And that goes back to the injuries that we've seen them have here to start the game. 2 of their best receivers now sidelined. Purdue doesn't do much. They don't do really a ton of exotic looks. They just play man-to-man, and to beat them, you have to beat man coverage.
3rd and 6, and Locke avoids a rusher, and he throws the ball to Breedlove. 2 interceptions today. This one wasn't a juggling catch along the ground like the prior interception. Kendrick Breedlove, 2 PBUs, 1 defensive PI, but most importantly, 2 interceptions.
Man, and since that DPI, even with the DPI, he's been in great position all day long. He's their nickel guy. He's covering the inside wide receiver. And for Locke, I think he just felt the pressure. Purdue brought a linebacker blitz. They did a good job of picking it up, but nice job there. Back-to-back drives, key plays by Breedlove.
After going into today's game as the only team in FBS without forcing a turnover, Breedlove, who spent 2 years at Ole Miss, 1 year at Colorado, he's got a home now in West Lafayette with today's performance, doubling up on the interceptions. Card to Max Clare, and Clare's got a lot of space. It's a 1st down and more. Takes on a tackler and goes out of bounds.
They've been setting it up, right? We've seen them run outside zone with Maccabee a number of times. That's been their staple run play. That time you flash the fake. You get Max Clare coming across the formation, leaking into the flat. This is what Purdue wants to see more of. Easy completions that turn into explosive plays. That's what Walters said. He said, hey, for Hudson, we just want to give him a clean picture. Let's get him easier completions where our guys can catch the ball on the move and get some yak as well.
Max Clare, 3rd amongst Big Ten tight ends and receiving yards going into today's game. That pass went for 22. Now at the Badger 29. Card looking. Throwing, end zone, batted down. Clare was the target, and it's Kamoy Latu who broke up the pass intended for Clare.
It was really nice coverage. Clare was just running a go ball here, and Hudson wanted to give his tight end a shot. You saw the stats there. He's one of the best tight ends in the conference, but he just lost his footing.
Still not in the red zone yet, but when they get in the red zone, have to think about the last drive and the 3rd and goal call.
That's the only play call I've had a problem with all day. Overall, I think Simmons has called a really great, really good game here.
Bibber in motion on 2nd and 10. Card, pocket, wasn't a lot of space, so he runs and inside the 25 to the 24.
Oof, looked like a big time hit there too. Good job initially with the protection. Good job feeling the outlet. Good coverage by Wisconsin. There was nowhere for him to go with the football. But you want to avoid those hits. 3rd down, Wisconsin has been bringing more pressure. Again, Purdue's offensive line this season has struggled to protect Card. Let's see if Wisconsin brings pressure once again.
There has not been a 3rd down conversion for either team today. Officially 3rd and 6. Card retreating, looking, throwing. Maccabee caught it. 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line.
Well, they did bring the pressure. Jake Chaney, who has been in the Purdue backfield all day, they sent him on a linebacker plug, and Purdue, as you saw there, picked it up cleanly. Hudson Card had all day long. It was good coverage by Wisconsin, but you can only cover for so long. Maccabee was able to kind of settle and find some green grass.
The biggest of his 5 receptions this season, and now 1st and goal at the 4.
Look at the personnel.
A tight end lined up in the I formation. An extra big man as a tight end. Maccabee ran into the back of Corey Stewart, the left tackle.
And I believe that was Ben Barton, number 68. He blew that play up from the start. He was matched up with Corey Stewart and just knocked him into the backfield, so forced Maccabee to have to make a cut behind the line of scrimmage. That play never had a chance.
What's going through your mind now, given what happened on the last sequence of downs in this area of the field?
I think you have 3 downs here once again. You have got to score a touchdown. Avoiding negative plays is critical. I think you get downhill now, less lateral.
The formation certainly looks much more conservative. Now Card. Lowry flushes him and throws it into the first row. Excellent catch was made in the first row.
It was almost like Wisconsin was waiting for that. Purdue was trying to leak a few of their tight ends into the flat and on a corner route. Now I think you get out of that big personnel. You have to spread Wisconsin out a little bit. Let's look for Max Clare. That's been the go-to guy here to start the game.
Purdue finally converted a 3rd down on the long pass to Maccabee. They have another one. Third and goal at the 5. A lot of trouble for Card, and he airmails this one over the goalposts.
It's a great job avoiding that sack. A great job getting rid of that football. Obviously now you didn't gain any yards, so the field goal unit has to come back out.
Had to throw it away twice on 2nd down and on 3rd down. But to your earlier point, Ben Barton made an important play on 1st and goal to the 4-yard line.
1st down is so critical.
Purdue has finally forced turnovers, 2 in today's game. The first one resulted in a short field goal, and the second one is poised to do the same from 23 yards. Spencer Porath. It's an 8-point game now. 3:27 left in the first half. Badgers over the Boilermakers, 14-6. Three more points for Purdue after the interception. It's 14-6 still to come. The tripleheader rolls on as undefeated Indiana, ranked 23rd, takes on Northwestern, followed by Miller Moss and 11th ranked USC against the Gophers under the lights. All ahead only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. A great day of early October football. Ben Freehill, the kickoff. Badger ball at the 25-yard line. So how about these 2 unbeaten teams in the Big Ten? First 5-0 start since 1967 for the Hoosiers. That was Coach John Pont. I heard your trivia question on the broadcast last week, Jake.
Did your homework?
I did, yes, absolutely. First time ranked in the AP poll since 2021 for the Hoosiers. And then Rutgers, their first 4-0 start since 2012. 12 years ago, Kyle Monungai has been fantastic this year, 147 rushing yards per game.
What's interesting about those 2 games and how I can tie it into this game right here, you know why those teams are finding success? They know exactly who they are. They have clear identities.
Kekahuna, makes a man miss. Caused 2 Purdue players to run into each other. And Kekahuna with a big game. The man from Honolulu was bumped out at the 46-yard line by DeMarge Lewis.
Well, that's Nyland Green.
Player of the defense.
And Will Helt, the edge, is laying down on the turf right now. That was Nyland Green's first game back last week, and the coaching staff has raved about him since he got here. Obviously, as a corner, you have to cover, but you can't replicate the tackling, right? He's missed, with the time, he missed all those opportunities and now took out his own teammate.
Will Helt down right now. We're back in 30 seconds. From Carmel, Indiana, Will Helt, 6'6", 265, very versatile rush end. He plays in pass coverage a lot, Jake. Just goes off the field injured.
And great hair. But he jogged off the field, so hopefully we'll see him back out here soon.
That was 21 yards by Kekahuna. And now Kekahuna catches another pass from Braden Locke. And the ball crosses midfield to the Boilermaker 47.
They're doing a good job of disguising, that was a nice play action, and what it completely fooled Purdue's defense. So Locke had all day to throw, giving his wide receivers a chance to get open.
Slide edge for Wisconsin in total yards. 8-point edge on the scoreboard. Bobby Walker is wrestled down right at the 44-yard line. The line needed to gain. Kadron Jenkins on a tackle. Is it enough to move the chains?
Yes. No. Yes. I saw the official pointing, and then wait a second, pointing, 1st and 10. But winning first down is so critical. You know, we like to talk about third down conversion rate. Winning first down is critical. It's what stalled Purdue's drive twice now in the red zone, and it's what's allowed Wisconsin to get the ball moving here.
Last time 7 yards on first down, maybe thinking more this time. All day to throw it, locked for the end zone. And Kekahuna out of bounds, throwaway out of bounds. Coming up, stick around for the halftime show, sponsored by Defender. You've got Rick Pizzo, Howard Griffith, Jerry DiNardo, Brock Vereen. That quartet will have highlights from this game and other games from around the Big Ten. And looking ahead, by the way, to the all-important clash of Indiana and Northwestern. 23rd ranked Indiana, 5-0.
A chance to stay undefeated going into their bye week, too.
Riley Nowakowski was in motion on the last play before the 2-minute timeout. Dylan Thieneman a tackle. The run by Tawee Walker is down to the 35-yard line of Purdue. It's a gain of 9. This is the 2-minute timeout. Football on the Big Ten Network is presented by Jared. See how luxury is getting personal this holiday only at Jared. And by Geico. Okay, well, everyone, of course, knows the Badger mascot Bucky, and everyone, of course, knows Brooke Fletcher. Brooke has interviewed so many athletes. I don't think that she's been interviewed before by someone down on the field, though.
She's just showing off at this point. Very talented.
This is 3rd and 1. A big play out of the 2-minute timeout. And they will run the ball. Tawee Walker picks up the first down.
And remember, Wisconsin's going to get the ball coming out of half here. So now with the fresh set of downs, there's no rush. They've had a lot of success running the ball. I think these next few plays, I expect Wisconsin to stick with that.
13 rushes, 61 yards. We talked about big plays. Luke Fickell and Phil Longo yesterday in the running game, but they are consistent. Walker uses his hand to brace himself to pick up maybe an extra yard. A gain of 4 down to the Boilermakers 28.
I want to show you here the structure of Purdue's defense. Because off of what we just said, look across the board there, how many bodies are down in the box, and then look at the coverage. No disguise, it's one-on-one, man-to-man.
Certainly in Vacos' field goal range now. And again, another play where Walker is using his hand to brace himself and pick up a little bit more yardage, and he's on the cusp of another first down.
Why do anything else other than give it to him again right here? Bringing in 2 tight ends.
Gone with Dupree now, Darian Dupree, the freshman. Wisconsin content to let the clock run down. They have 2 timeouts. Closing in on 30 seconds left. 3rd and short, Purdue 22, Dupree, first down. 26 seconds left.
Now you got to go. You either got to call timeout or you got to go.
Once the chain's set, the clock will start again after the first down. They do have 2 timeouts. They've wound the clock. It's moving.
What's going on here? They got to call a timeout.
Purdue gets to sub because Wisconsin subbed.
Wisconsin, their second of the half, 30 seconds.
They finally take a timeout with 19 seconds. We're back in 30 seconds.
Every second counts here now as the first half winds down. And for Coach Fickell, they tried to sub there. And the rules are the defense then is allowed to sub. So they ended up losing 6-7 seconds on that play. Now you really only have time for about 3 or 4 plays.
They do have 1 timeout left. It's first down at the 19, and a throw to the end zone, and a catch falling on the goal line for C.J. Williams. They mark him down inside the 1. So 12 seconds, the clock stops to move the chains. They've got to get up to the line. What will they do? Clock is running. Walker is running. Walker is scoring. For 70+ thousand at Camp Randall, there were some high anxiety moments, but they scored the touchdown. The Badgers do with 9 seconds left in the half.
And this was the big play, the big catch to get him down there. C.J. Williams working on Nyland Green. And then Tawee Walker, second straight week with his second touchdown.
They goes to make it a 15-point lead, and he does precisely that. 9 seconds left in the half. We're back in 30 seconds on the Big Ten Network. Two touchdown runs for Tawee Walker for the second straight game. Did it last week against USC, has done it today against Purdue. Ran it in from 1 yard out, but a 19-yard pass play to C.J. Williams put the Badgers on the lip of the cup, and they punched it in. There will be a return on the kick. Oh, and a big hit on Elijah Jackson and driven backwards. There are 3 seconds remaining in the half. Here's the touchdown.
So we've talked about, to beat Purdue's defense, you have to beat man coverage, and a big piece of that is a pick play. So they're going to run a shallow and then a go. This is the key. That tight end, number 38, Tucker Ashcraft, watch how as he comes across the field, it forces Nyland Green to navigate around the trash. Of course, he got beat immediately off the line of scrimmage, but when you're playing man-to-man teams, the defense for Purdue and Nyland Green, you have to expect and almost anticipate pick plays. That time they didn't. It led to a big completion, which led to the touchdown by Tawee Walker.
The 4th reception of the year for C.J. Williams was an important one. 19 yards down to the 1 yard line. Walker goes in. Remember, Wisconsin won the toss and deferred. They will double up. They scored with 9 seconds left in the half and will receive the second half kickoff as they now have pushed their lead back from 14-6 to 21-6. The 2 interceptions for Purdue yielded only field goals, and then the Badgers with the drive that got very close, but ultimately led to the short touchdown run for Walker, his second score of the day.
It's a game of opportunities, and Wisconsin took advantage of the opportunities gifted to them from Purdue. Muffed punt, Wisconsin scores. Couple times down in the red zone, Purdue has a chance. Wisconsin defense shuts them down.
And so with all of that, we head to halftime with the Wisconsin Badgers at home in their 5th game of the year, looking to go 3-2 and leading 21-6.
Wisconsin going to the pass game, but not to Brock Sky, Will Pauling.
To settle for 2 field goals. Wisconsin, meanwhile, they got 2 touchdowns down there to go with their explosive touchdown earlier in the game. And, you know, we were talking, what a huge drive, a critical drive for Purdue's defense here.
Right now, down to the field to Brooke Fletcher.
Yeah, guys, I talked to Coach Fickell out of halftime here. He mentioned complimentary football this week, and he said he's been very pleased with what he saw in the first half, but he said it's just a half. We have to get all through the 4 quarters here. He said he's happy with the execution in the red zone from this defense. We have to continue to dominate there, be good on third down. Offense, we really have to set the tone, but for an update on these wide receivers, Will Pauling, he is back. Bryson Green is doubtful, and Tyrell Henry, he is going to be out, guys.
And on the first play, it's a handoff. Walker with the gain of a yard. Wisconsin scored at the end of the first half, Jake. They have the ball to start the second half. I don't want to overstate it, but what an important defensive series for Purdue.
Critical. I mean, especially with the way their offense has struggled to get points here. You don't want Wisconsin to go up by 22.
Long time to throw for Locke. Markers down. Ball was heaved out of bounds on the second play of the 3rd quarter.
Breedlove.
There are fouls by each team that will offset. In Unintentional grounding, offense number 18. Holding, defense. Replay second down.
So I think the hold was on number 10, Breedlove, right there in your screen. Middle of your screen. It's a really nice route there by Kekahuna. Some good, some bad for Breedlove. 2 interceptions on the day, 2 key penalties on the day.
Also 2 pass breakups on the day. After all of that, a do-over on second down and 9, and banging forward, Walker taken down by Thieneman at the 31.
Fickle said this week, instead of divvying up the carries and having 5 different guys get 5 carries apiece, he wanted to hone that in a little bit. They've just been riding to Wee Walker all day long.
He's had 16 carries, Dupree 3. 71 yards for Walker, by the way. Third and 4. And a catch by C.J. Williams, a really important catch at the end of the first half, and an important third down catch here. And now at 50% again today, just like last week and the game before against Bama.
We will stay on top of this with our graphics team throughout the game. I think Badgers fans and certainly Locke would like to see that number get up towards 60.
Running play for Walker. Flag is thrown in an area that you would not want to see from a Wisconsin perspective.
Will help. 1 right off the line of scrimmage. They're going to get a holding on Wisconsin.
Personal foul, illegal block below the waist, offense number 79. 15-yard penalty, still first down.
The 43rd start today for Jack Nelson at left tackle as the Badgers are forced back. So Phil Longo, we talked with him yesterday about his history. Never having a quarterback as an offensive coordinator in all of his previous stops, and we can go back and research anyway, less than 55%. And he said, just be better under duress, be consistent, make the throws. He said they zeroed in on 4 throws from last week's game that he could have made. Will he make a throw here? He will. Nicely done. Good throw, good catch. Trench Kekahuna at the 31.
When you think about the story for how Locke got here, you know, they bring in Mordecai as a transfer last year. He wins the starting job. He gets injured. Locke gets a few opportunities last season. Then you do it all over again with Van Dyke this year. So I didn't sense any panic or disappointment from Phil Longo. He said he's one of the smartest quarterbacks he's ever coached. And part of this is just getting him opportunities and repetitions. Seems to be getting more comfortable every single game.
Remember that the illegal block pushed them back, so that 7-yard pickup leaves them at 2nd and 18. Kekahuna again, and Kekahuna's got room to run. I got a downfield block from C.J. Williams, and it is a house call for Trench Kekahuna.
We've talked all day about Purdue's defensive identity. They want to play cover 1 and they want to be aggressive and bring pressure. What you just saw there was their changeup. Drop 8 into coverage. And they're playing zone, so Purdue only rushed 3. Look how much time these receivers have a chance to get open. And a great job by Kekahuna. He locked eyes with Braden Locke, was able to find that zone there with green grass. Big time explosive touchdown for the Badgers.
Last year, Trench Kekahuna had 4 catches for 64 yards. So far this year, before today, 4 for 42. Today, Kekahuna, now 4 catches for 85, including a 69-yard touchdown grab. Badgers celebrate a 22-point lead. Today, the Badgers have a 52-yard touchdown pass to Vinny Anthony. And then in between, 2 Tywee Walker touchdown runs. And now you also have a 69-yard touchdown pass from Braden Locke to Trench Kekahuna. Drive of about 3 minutes. There we go. 28-6. Wisconsin in front. That kickoff, by the way, goes out of
Kick
bounds.
out of bounds. Kicking team number 43. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
So back to the touchdown a moment ago for the Badgers.
Watch the middle linebacker, 35-yard line on the hash, number 14, right below the official. Number 14, Yanni Karlaftis. So they're dropping back into a drop 8 coverage. Watch him right here because he's in that zone, but for whatever reason decides to trigger on Braden Locke. I don't understand the thought process, but we have another great shot of Locke's eyes. Watch him just, he knows that Purdue has no pressure. They're rushing 3, offensive line has 5. They have that shut down, and Locke just does a great job bouncing on his feet, surveying, waiting, looking, scanning, and then as soon as Yanni Karlaftis decided to blitz, that's where the zone vacated. Big time touchdown for Wisconsin.
Longest Purdue, their first of the half.
Longest scrimmage play of the year for Wisconsin.
30 seconds.
And a timeout for Purdue. We're back in 30 seconds. Ryan Walters looks on, second-year head coach at Purdue. They had to burn a timeout before they even took a snap here on their first offensive possession of the third quarter. After a kickoff out of bounds, it starts at the 35. Hudson Card finds Jamal Edrin, and he wards off a tackle attempt, at least enough to get him over the 45 for a first down and gain of 11.
The mindset here for Purdue is not to be rushed, not to do anything crazy. You just want to operate your offense, put together a good drive, give yourself a chance to score, and at that point, obviously, you have to go for it on 4th down. If you can get in that low red zone, they need a touchdown.
A good time to remember the advice of John Wooden: be quick, but don't hurry.
Perfect advice.
Card keeps. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? Doesn't look like it. Threw it to Jerron Tibbs, and Tibbs down to the Badger 40.
Going to get a penalty on Purdue.
An eligible receiver downfield, offense number 77, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Mohamed Musa, the left guard.
That's the risk with some of these plays, right? The long developing read options that turn into an RPO. There's the line of scrimmage right on the 46-yard line. And I mean, there's 2 guys downfield. So, I mean, once again, it's just so frustrating for Purdue.
Right? Yeah, we're good.
You know, they're not even giving themselves a chance. They're beating themselves before their opponents can even beat them.
In that case, Card was not over the line of scrimmage. Very close, but not over it. And here it comes! Thomas on the backside. Jaheim Thomas lowers the boom on Hudson Card back at the 34.
Completely unobstructed. I don't know if that's the left tackle. I don't know if that's the left guard. I don't know if that's the running back. But when you have Jaheim Thomas at 6'4", 245 pounds, coming downhill like a freight train on the blind side of your quarterback, someone's got to hit him. Otherwise, it's going to be a big hit. Jaheim Thomas will never have an easier sack than that.
History, of course, with Luke Fickell. 3 years at Cincinnati, and Mike Tressel as well. Last year, 90 tackles at Arkansas. Big sack there for the Badgers. 3rd down, Card under pressure. A lot of room to run. 2nd down, beg your pardon. And Card able to make something out of nothing. That's a pretty nice gain. That's an important gain. Up to the 47, 13 yards on the scramble.
Well, and what was the difference? Good protection. Protection's been an issue for Purdue all year long. I give a lot of respect to Hudson Card because he's been hit and beat up, and yet he continues to pick himself back up. It was a problem going back to last year.
Third and 9, just nowhere to throw it. Running for his life, extending the play. He has really extended the play and finally throws it out of bounds. I mean, Hudson Card is doing everything possible.
In the area. It's 4th down.
There's nothing more he can do. I mean, the guy's playing his heart out. He's giving his team every possible chance. That's what we talked about with Wisconsin, though, right? Is when Braden Locke has had time, his receivers have found a way to get open. There, Hudson Card has all day scrambling around, and no one got open.
21 seconds of game time elapsed on that play. Crimmins, a rush on the punt. Barely got it away, and it does take a fortuitous bounce. Purdue at the 2-yard line. There was a lot of pressure on that punt from Owen Arnett. Did he get a fingertip on this?
It sounded like it.
We'll be back right after this. Yeah, Arnett got a piece of it. Here's today's team comparison, sponsored by Safelite. Purdue and Wisconsin, both 2 trips to the red zone today. Wisconsin, they cashed in with touchdowns. Purdue settled for field goals. That's not the only difference, but certainly one of significance today. Now, after a partially tipped punt, it took a really good Boilermakers roll all the way down to the 2-yard line. Walker helps him establish more of a beachhead with the lunge out to the 5-yard line.
What you're thinking for Purdue, right? It's obvious that you have to get a stop. Punt team did a great job of, even though the punt got blocked, you know, you get Wisconsin backed up here. Right now, Wisconsin has all the momentum, going back 4, 5, 6, 7 drives now.
Walker out to the 7. Officially out to the 8. Dupree is in, throwing for the end zone. Hit as he throws, and locked to C.J. Williams for a first down.
Wow, what a great job by Locke. He took an absolute shot
for
on
an
that
injured
one. Player
of the defense.
Will Helt is 6'6", 265, man. That is a big dude that came around and hit Locke, but he stood in there. And C.J. Williams has been a go-to guy on these crossers. Jeffrey Mba was also in the backfield. Looked like he got caught up with his own teammate.
There is a timeout on the field. We'll be back after this. Jeffrey Mba, born in West Africa in Gabon, walked off the field under his own power. 1 year at Auburn, year 2 at Purdue, and the defensive lineman is now on the Purdue bench, but again walked off on his own power.
It's encouraging. Looked like his cleats got caught up in there, maybe a hyperextended knee.
That pass went out to the 13-yard line. It was a 5-yard pass to C.J. Williams on 3rd and 4. Darian Dupree. A run for the freshman from Chicago to the 17.
You can almost see in real time the confidence of Locke grow. And you saw little seeds get planted last week. He was able to connect on some deep balls, let his emotions start to show. And then as the games went on, he's made more and more big-time throws, and he's showing some of that confidence.
He's flushed here. Will make a throw. That's 6 straight completions for Braden Locke and C.J. Williams all the way up to the 45-yard line of the Badgers.
And that's just an excellent job by Locke the entire time, just staying patient in the pocket, rolling out just a little bit to give himself some space, and finding C.J. Williams, who's become his favorite target.
And Dupree knifing into the backfield. Dylan Thieneman for the TFL. More on Braden Locke with Brooke Fletcher. Brooke.
Jake, you mentioned the confidence that you're seeing from him, and he told me this week he just feels much more prepared this time around stepping in for Tyler Van Dyke compared to last year. He reflected on his time stepping in for Tanner Mordecai, noting how valuable that experience was, especially since it was his first taste of college ball. But he learned a lot about the emotional up and downs of being the week-to-week starter in the Big Ten, realizing just the importance of bringing your best every single week. Now he knows that he's the starter for the rest of the season. He's just grateful for those lessons and ready to take on this challenge the rest of the season.
False
Marker
start
down.
offense, number 13, 5-yard penalty, second down.
They had a big play. Got him out to the 45, but the Badgers are backed up. And again, a TFL, by the way, on the first down run.
Look at the structure. Look at the defense. There's no safeties back at all.
7 in a row. Oh, and a spin move by Dupree. The ball came dangerously close to coming out. He goes down. Completed pass to Dupree.
That was almost the play of the day. Really nice move.
That was close to being very special and close to being a disaster, both.
Right. That's what they said makes him special. That's his competitive advantage. As a running back, they said he's a great route runner and a great pass catcher.
After an 0 for 4 start on third downs, Badgers 4 for their last 4. They got a tough one here, though.
Pirates have timeout, Purdue, the first of the half.
That's their second of the half.
Correct.
Because remember,
second of the half.
Way to keep him accountable, Mark.
Thank you. They called a timeout before their first offensive snap of the third quarter. We'll return after this. Third quarter, Wisconsin 28, Purdue 6. Tomorrow, Raven Colvin leads the 10th-ranked Boilermakers against Michigan State women's volleyball at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Big 5-set match win last week for Purdue in volleyball against Minnesota.
That's C.J. Williams versus Nyland Green.
Dupree's out of the pattern. That's the way they throw, and he caught it, going down to the ground on 3rd and 13 for Wisconsin to the freshman running back Dupree on the wheel route.
Man, what a throw, too. That was a dart into a tight window. He put it right in the stomach of Darian Dupree.
Going tempo after the 18-yard pass, and then a flag down, a deep ball, and there's another flag down. Nyland Green involved in the play on the pass intended for Quincy Burrows. And I actually believe I see 3 different flags down right now.
I think there was a holding and a pass interference all on that exact same route. Remember, this is Nyland Green. It's only his second game back, and Wisconsin has identified him and kind of targeted him throughout the game today. I mean, he's a super talented corner, 6'1", great length,
24 games
physical.
in Georgia for the last 3 seasons.
But just penalties were an issue for him last week.
2 fouls by the defense. Offside defense number 17. That penalty is declined. Pass interference defense number 2. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
They ask a lot of these corners. They're asked to stand and press man one-on-one coverage. It's not an easy task, and for Nyland Green, he's got all the physical traits to do it, but obviously these past 2 weeks now, the pass interferences and the penalties just continue to stack.
Defensive coordinator Kevin Kane told us the talking point this week, we've got to do a better job of turning around and locating the ball. Block, look left, goes right for the end zone, and it's Kekahuna doubling up on touchdowns today.
And they've earned the right to celebrate.
Defense number 10. The penalties declined. The result of the play is the touchdown.
Great throw by Locke, great catch by Kekahuna, but it started with the protection up front. Purdue brought the house. They brought pressure. And just watch this unfold. That's the freshman there, Darian Dupree, getting involved. The tight end, Tucker Ashcraft. He helped seal the edge, and Braden Locke had a clean pocket to go ahead and deliver that throw.
A 98-yard drive, most of the yards by Kekahuna, C.J. Williams, and Darian Dupree. I did not have that trifecta on my bingo card today.
Beautiful drive.
We're back in 30 seconds. 35 the points now for the Badgers. Tretch Kahuna had 4 catches for 42 yards in the first 4 games. He has 6 catches today, 2 touchdowns, well over 100 yards. Gavin Lom kickoff into the end zone. Let's see more on Kahuna from Honolulu and then Bishop Gorman High School in Vegas.
It's a game of opportunity. It's opportunity for the teams. It's opportunity for the individuals. We saw Will Pauling go down. We saw Bryson Green go down. Well, Kahuna, we're going to give you some chances, and he's taken full advantage of every single chance. That's a tough catch to make. That's a pass interference. Breedlove has been all over his assignment in the back end. It's good coverage, but Kahuna strong at the point of attack, working through Breedlove and coming down with the touchdown.
We did chat with Phil Longo yesterday, and he said, hey, the receivers, part of their job is to make the quarterback look good. You saw the numbers for Kahuna, and Locke's completed 9 in a row now. And he's got 3 touchdown passes of 25+ yards today as Reggie Love runs the ball on first down for Purdue for 5.
This was such an important week for Wisconsin. We talked about in the open. You know, Fickle didn't want to use the word desperate, but certainly we knew they were desperate for a win to get back on track. This is the best they've looked on both sides of the football all season. And for Braden Locke, think about the confidence, the ripple effects of what this could mean.
Card throws. Edrin can't hang on. Jamal Edrin back on the field today.
It's been that kind of day for Purdue. It's been that kind of year for Purdue, right? Just a foot off here or there. 10 guys doing their job, and the one that doesn't cost them the play. Your most trusted player, and Dylan Thieneman muffs 2 punts. One of them gives Wisconsin a scoring opportunity. It's just that kind of day for Purdue. Very frustrating.
1 of 8 on third down adds to the frustration. Allegro's coming. They picked him up. Jump ball for Jerron Tibbs. And a breakup by Xavier Lucas. Has 1 interception this year. And from Pompano Beach, Florida, the freshman with the PBU.
Great coverage. Great defense. You bring pressure. Right now they're not getting organic pressure, so Tressel brings pressure, and what that means is for Xavier Lucas, you're going to be one-on-one out on an island, just like we showed you with Purdue. That time the freshman Xavier Lucas, great coverage.
Remember that Owen Arnett tipped the last punt by Keelan Crimmins. Big kick. And a fumble! Vinny Anthony quickly on it. 50-yard punt. Anthony recovered his own muffed punt. We're back in 15 seconds. Luke Fickell, his Badgers up 35-6. Braden Locke, the quarterback, on a roll today. 9 straight completions, career high 292 yards, and 3 long touchdown passes. Cade Yacomelli, his first carry. The hardest job, by the way, in the game today has been punt returners standing down to our left and having to look back in the direction of the sun.
No kidding. I mean, I'm wondering, when one of these teams is going to make an adjustment, just have them back up another 10, 15 yards and try to catch it off one bounce. It's not worth it.
It's awesome that it's over 70 degrees in the 70s and sunny today in Madison, unless you're a punt returner on that side of the field. 10 in a row for Locke. Wow, Dylan Thieneman, a big hit. Yacomelli just got into the game, ran 1, caught 1 for 17.
And a great job by Locke, too. He was just waiting for Yacomelli to get open. Watch, Yacomelli starts in protection, and you see Locke just slowly drifting back to buy some time, get him some space. Then a nice accurate ball, very catchable ball to his running back in Yacomelli.
And now you see over 300 yards today for Locke. Dupree going downhill. 2-yard pickup. So to revisit the idea of the muffed punts today. First one by Dylan Thieneman in the first quarter. Second one by Dylan Thieneman in the first quarter. But a different result. Pfeiffer, the long snapper, recovered Jake at the 12-yard line. Badgers punch it in. Next play, Tawee Walker.
And that's how they started the game. And Wisconsin took full advantage of those opportunities, and Purdue just hasn't been able to overcome themselves.
11 in a row. Riley Nowakowski upended at the 45, officially 44.
Locke looks so comfortable, so confident back there. It's one of those games almost where it feels like everything is working. It's like when you're shooting hoops in the backyard and you get hot.
Yes.
Just leaves your hands and you know it's going in.
I understand the idea of that. I don't personally know the feeling of that, but I do understand the concept.
You're a basketball guy, though, too. You appreciate it.
From Rockwall, Texas, Braden Locke. And a bullet throw, and Vinny Anthony sticks his foot in the ground and then zigzags through the defense for another first down. Down to the 30.
They're just having fun out there, man. Why not, Vinny Anthony? Had the touchdown in the first half, made a few guys miss. Locke's like, hey, let's just get it out to our playmakers.
The story has gone from a desire to run the football and pick up explosive plays in the running game to a surgical precision in terms of performance by Locke. But there's a big play in the running game. Hole for Dupree.
It's just a beautiful drive. Last drive was a beautiful drive. That's Wisconsin football. Pull 2 offensive linemen, stick a couple Purdue defenders, and get your freshman out in space.
That was a 13-yard run for Darian Dupree. A player for Purdue is currently down on the field. We have not seen a number on the young man who is down right now with 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Cole Brevard, number 91, we've been told, the defensive lineman from Carmel, Indiana, transfer from Penn State. There he is. Well, you can follow at B1G Football right now on all the different social media platforms, X, YouTube, Instagram. Highlights, features, teams, etc. I got to zero in on Instagram. I saw you and Adam Brenneman on Instagram. So you get previews. You guys talked Rutgers, Nebraska.
Yes.
Great conversation.
Yes.
You can hear from the athletes. I saw Daniel Jackson breaking down the great catch that he had for Minnesota last week, the insane catch against Michigan. You can get, I saw Anthony Herron's list of impact offensive players on Instagram. I mean, you get everything you could possibly want. Highlights, hear from the players, podcast.
If you want it, we got it. One-on-one coverage here with, take a look at that down at the bottom of the screen.
Pressure coming for Locke. And the streak of completions comes to an end. 12 straight. Pressure forced that one. I think we both really like Will Hilt, Jake.
Oh yeah, big. I think he's a guy that's going to be playing on Sundays. Great size, great length. He's a hassle to try to block because of that size. But a good idea would be to block him.
Oh, a drop, Anthony.
Locke, it looked like Locke was looking at him. He wanted him to stay on the move. So, but this is the air raid offense, right? These past few drives have looked like what you would expect and anticipate from the air raid offense. Once the passing game gets going, all of a sudden it forces Purdue to adjust. That leads to lighter boxes, leads to a ton of open space for your running game.
A string of scoring on the first drive of 3 straight games ended for Wisconsin today, but they've been scoring a bunch since. Tawee Walker, he may score again. Touchdown number 3 for number 3.
This is Tawee Walker's favorite area of the field, it seems like. Right inside that 20, scored a couple times last week, scored a couple times today. It's all about tackling, man, and he's 5'9", which means his center of gravity is low. Big, thick legs, breaks a few tackles, makes Thieneman miss. And heck yeah, Phil Longo, he's loving it.
Last year at Oklahoma, Tommy Walker had 7 touchdowns. This year, in not even half a season at Wisconsin, he has 6, including 3 today and 2 last week against USC. We have 12 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And of course, remember the run of dominance for Wisconsin against Purdue. They've won 17 straight games by an average of 20 points per game. And you see the great players for Wisconsin, T.J. Watt, J.J. Watt, Jonathan Taylor, Melvin Gordon, that have all been a part of that. 2003, the last time that Purdue defeated Wisconsin. And only of those 17 games, by the way, as you look at the longest winning streaks ever for the Badgers against a single opponent, 18 would, of course, be a new program history record. 14 of the last 17 have been double-digit victories, and this one is on its way to now being 15 of 18.
That's absolute dominance.
Going to return it. Elijah Jackson brought down at the 15. Time for a studio update. Here's Rick Pizzo.
Thank you, Mark. UCLA kept it close for a while, but Penn State has ripped off 17 unanswered, capped by that Katron Allen touchdown run. He's 24-3 Nittany Lions.
Well, what a backfield they've got. And State College, between Katron Allen and Nick Singleton, their third year there together. By the way, did you see that tackle on the kickoff of the 15-yard line? That's a wide receiver, Chris Brooks Jr. What a day for wide receivers, Kekahuna, C.J. Williams, and then Brooks. Last play of the third quarter. Devin Mockabee, a first down run. Well, you know what you need to do. Stick around for jump around. One of college football's great traditions. Camp Randall Stadium, jump around. A lot to jump about for Wisconsin and their fans today, leading 42-6 going to the fourth quarter. And not just for the fans, for the announcers.
Why not?
You know, I run a lot, Jake. I had a 7-mile race earlier this summer.
Okay.
You can get out of breath jumping for 30 seconds.
Right.
Yes,
That's
more
right.
than you can for 7 miles.
That's freaking awesome, man. Wow.
You are grinning from ear to ear right now. And I didn't lie, by the way. The press box really does shake. Underneath to Mockabee. And cut down in the open field by Xavier Lucas. The freshman makes another play.
I just feel lucky to be here for something like that, right?
Yeah.
There's just such great traditions. Like, what makes college football special? This makes college football special. It's the traditions, the history. Of course, I played in the Big Ten. You know, I work for the Big Ten Network, have never witnessed that. So that's fun.
And it's been a fun day, especially the third quarter. Heave for Hudson Card. A fun day for the Badgers, that is. A rough day for Purdue. Max Lofi with the pass breakup. There is a flag down on the play as Hudson Card was looking for Cam Brown.
Personal foul, illegal chop block, offense number 77 and number 45. The penalties decline. It's fourth down.
The theme of the conversations with Ryan Walters and Jason Simmons this week. We're energized, we're excited, we have new wrinkles planned. We can't make wholesale changes, but the players have rallied around and the staff has rallied around Jason Simmons. And it just has not materialized in the way that they had hoped, unfortunately, for them.
This game just slowly got away from it. Now it's just completely opened up in the second half. But I thought Jason Simmons called a good first half. But, when you settle for field goals and your opponent's getting touchdowns, that's a huge difference in the game.
Bad punt, ball out of bounds. We will be back in just a moment and check out a little more jump around from between the third and fourth quarters. (42-6) Wisconsin here early in the fourth quarter. The final drive recaps the entire day around the conference later tonight, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. And that will be after USC-Minnesota football and USC-Minnesota volleyball. A lot to recap, including a triple header of games on the Big Ten Network today. And a pass is complete. JT Seagraves, tight end, behind Tucker Ashcraft and Riley Nowakowski, and hybrid tight end fullback Jackson Aker on the depth chart.
And it's just everything's working for Wisconsin right now. Won't find an easier completion, but that's built off of the run game. Little quick play action and hit your tight end down in the flat.
359 through the air, 118 on the ground, adds up to 477. Huge number today. Cade Yakimelli is down. Doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. A loss of 2. A chance for a 500-yard day. Badgers came in averaging 337. They're 140 yards over that today. Good to see, by the way, Jeffrey Umbaugh back into the game. He made that tackle on Cade Yakimelli. Remember that Umbaugh went out of the game late in the third quarter.
Cole Brevard also back in there.
Number 91, he was also down on the field late in the third quarter for Purdue. Third down and long, Yakimelli. Going into today, Cade Yakimelli had the longest rushing play for Wisconsin this season. It still does, by the way, at 29. He just picked up 9.
Watch these guys pulling around. This has been a really beautiful and successful scheme here for Wisconsin. Pulling your guard and your tackle around. Kick out the defensive end and let the tackle lead up through. They found a lot of success with that scheme.
Going for it on 4th down and 1. Yakimelli runs into a lineman, breaks free, touchdown.
You ever hear your Pee Wee coach tell you, keep your feet running, keep your feet running? Purdue had a chance to bring him down there, but keep your feet running, Yakimelli. There wasn't a ton of space in there. Actually, backside is where all the resources were. Front side out there to the left side of the offensive line. They found some space. Yakimelli rode that all the way into the end zone.
And now that's the longest running play this year for Wisconsin, and it's still Cade Yakimelli, who had the longest running play of the year before today and still does, with a 30-yard touchdown run. Ran into freshman offensive lineman Kevin Haywood, but still totes it into the end zone. 49-6 Badgers. Offensive coordinator Phil Longo said yesterday, we just got to get better foundationally and at little things, and then third downs, explosive plays, they'll all come. 516 yards to the point about explosive plays, closing in on 200 more than their 4-game per game season average going into today.
That's going to be a fun film session when they get in there on Sunday or Monday.
I believe that a flag has been thrown back in the vicinity of where the ball was kicked off.
There's no foul in the play. It's 1st and 10.
10:59 left, and here's Wisconsin's upcoming schedule, sponsored by Wendy's. So will they or will they not, we'll know later today, be playing an undefeated Rutgers team on the road next week. Then at Northwestern, Penn State, and Iowa to move into November, followed by a bye.
Yeah, their schedule, it started off really challenging, of course, playing Bama and USC. And then you have a middle piece of this schedule where there's going to be some toss-up games. You look at the back half, you see Penn State there, Iowa, obviously Oregon's a top 10 team. So I think about how important this game was for Wisconsin, for their own confidence and for their own belief. Really showed a lot of great things to their head coach, Luke Fickell.
Hudson Card is out. Ryan Brown is in the game at quarterback. Jaheim Merriweather with a run for a first down and more, but the ball squirts out right at the end, and it is recovered by Wisconsin. The ball came out at the end of the play, and Braden Moore, a redshirt freshman from Hamilton, Ohio, with the recovery.
And when it rains, it pours, man. They finally get a big run for Purdue. You're thinking, okay, let's see if they can string something together here. But Merriweather, the freshman, ball security is priority number 1. And as soon as something good happens, you take it back. Turnover, Purdue.
It was jostled free by Kamoi Latu, then Moore recovered. And we saw a new quarterback for Purdue, and now one for the Badgers, as Mabry Matoyer from the Woodlands, Texas, outside of Houston, a freshman, has gone into the game.
And that division down there, absolutely loaded. District 13, 6A down in Texas.
And 6A is the biggest classification.
Yes, and they just crank out college players at a high level, NFL players at a high level. He's a 4-star. He's got the career record at his high school for yards. He's got talent.
4-star recruit from 24/7 Sports. By the way, Dylan Jones, another promising freshman from Laurel, Maryland, who does have 4 carries in a previous game this year. Just ran the ball for 3. And there's Matoyer's first completion. So you were talking about Matoyer and his success at the Woodlands High School just outside of Houston. I want you to think about translating high school numbers to college. As a senior in high school, 29 touchdowns, Jake, 1 interception.
Those are the keys. Are you, and think about it, like down there, those are good defenses. Those are good teams he's playing against. So that forces him to operate mentally. Okay, 29 to 1. Hey, that's that's understanding how to take care of the football. Completion percentage is another one I look at because it tells you decision making and accuracy.
Dylan Jones with another run and ran out of the tackle. Jones still going. Fought off another tackle. Does he have enough oomph to get it to the goal line and in? No. But it is inside the 10 for a 1st and goal for Wisconsin.
We're getting a preview into the future. Dylan Jones, freshman, he's next up. But if you're going to pop an explosive run, you need to be able to block downfield. Chris Brooks, the receiver, doing his job, sealing Nyland Green, helps spring those extra 10, 20 yards. Might have been a touchdown if he could have held on a little bit longer. But just great blocking across the board.
And when we talked with Phil Longo yesterday about explosive plays in the running game, he said the biggest issue is second-level blocking. You can't just lock up, you got to maintain. Chris Brooks just did that to spring Jones on the 47-yard run.
JT Seagraves, the tight end, he was front side of the touchdown on the last drive. That time he was helping seal the block on the backside there as well. So First play in, remember Seagraves caught the flat route, went steamrolling down the sideline, catching the ball and now helping spring some runs as well. So,
by the way, Matoyer's first completion, just to tidy that up, went to number 87, Jackson McGowan. Another tight end got into the game as well. So McGowan caught a pass, then Jones had the long run for the Badgers. Lost just a little bit of ground on the first and goal run.
He's doing a good job with the snap count here.
And Jones broke one tackle, but again stopped shy of the line of scrimmage.
And Purdue's got to tackle, man. Got to tackle. I just think for Purdue across the board, it's not one glaring thing. It's not like you could say, man, if we fix this one thing, suddenly we'll be where we want to be. It's a little bit here, a little bit there in all three phases, and it adds up to a lot. I guess maybe the encouraging thing is a lot of it's self-inflicted.
I mean, every game has its own ecosystem, and the muffed punt obviously changed the vibe of the game. Matoyer escapes pressure on 3rd and goal, spins and runs and picks up yards, but obviously short of the end zone, bringing up a field goal opportunity.
Just to talk about Matoyer real quick. It's part of this larger theme of bringing in Coach Fickell to a successful Wisconsin program that had won a ton of games but wanted more. So Fickell comes in and says, we need to emphasize throwing the ball, which leads him to hiring Phil Longo, the air raid system. And now in year 2, you think about it, they relied on a transfer quarterback last year in Mordecai. This year they were relying once again on a transfer quarterback in Tyler Van Dyke. Can Matoyer be the homegrown talent? He said his favorite Badger is Russell Wilson.
Pecos in 2 years at Wisconsin, 15 of 16 now on field goals inside of 40. Football on the Big Ten Network is brought to you by Discover and by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Wisconsin's tunnel walk before the game. You always wonder what's on the mind of players when they're making those final few steps through the tunnel out to the field. Even in the most optimistic of those minds, though, where they have seen this score that just flashed up on the screen. The Badgers have scored on 6 straight drives, starting with the final drive of the first half. Common football phrase is game of inches, but that drive at the end of the first half made it a game of seconds. Remember, yes, there were some anxiety-producing clock management moments.
Yeah.
Yes. They let seconds run off the clock.
But it's a results-driven business.
And they scored a touchdown with 9 seconds left in the first half to start that stretch of 6 straight scoring drives. It seems like a distant memory now, but it felt very significant, of course, at the time. Ryan Brown to Drew Bibber. Brown, the backup, got in on the last series, but Jaheim Merriweather fumbled. Brown is playing today in his 3rd game, played earlier this year against Indiana State, 1 game last year against Northwestern.
Redshirt freshman, so he's got his whole career ahead of him.
High school in both New Berlin, New York, and Venice, Florida. Has some completions on his ledger before today. That was not his first when he threw to Bibber for 6 yards. Still to come, the triple header rolls on as undefeated Indiana takes on Northwestern, followed by Miller Moss at 11th ranked USC against the Gophers under the lights. It's all ahead, only on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Indiana, as you see, is ranked 23rd in the AP poll, their first ranking since early in 2021.
It's been such a fun story in the Big Ten Conference. You think about Curt Cignetti calling his shots from day one.
Yep. That's another thing you can see, by the way, on all of the Big Ten football social channels. You can see that from the journey that aired on the Big Ten Network this week. You can see Curt Cignetti calling his shots. The Associated Press poll. Alabama, of course, after the win over Georgia, vaulted to 1.
Incomplete pass at second down.
From the Big Ten, Ohio State 3, Oregon, they won last night. They're 6, and then you see Penn State, Michigan, USC, Indiana, Illinois. 7 teams ranked.
The play has been reviewed. The quarterback's knee was down at the 24-yard line, where it'll be second down.
Glad we're all on the same page here.
Yes, so a very quick review done by the new state-of-the-art Big Ten Replay Center in Rosemont, Illinois, and confirming that it was what was initially called incomplete was actually a play where Brown was down.
Yes.
Now second down and 22. Brown keeping it, stutter steps, and goes down out of bounds. And so remember that this is the new world of the 12-team playoff when you consider and look at 5 teams in the Big 12 from the Big 10.
Yeah. Well, and for Wisconsin fans, how about that? You lost to the #1 team in the country who probably has the Heisman favorite right now in Jalen Milroe, maybe the best receiver in college football in Ryan Williams. And you lost to the #11 team on the road, USC, in a game where you really could have won. You know, you had some opportunities. So the context of those 2 frustrating losses with how good you've looked today, they're an interesting team now as the season starts to unfold.
Wisconsin will go to 3-2 once this is final, and keep in mind that they're on a streak of 22 straight winning seasons and 22 straight seasons that is going to a bowl game. We saw some of their schedule earlier. This gives you the full look at what's out ahead of them. They've got a tough run-in after the bye week.
Yep.
Oregon, top 6 at Nebraska. So much improvement this year. And then the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe at the end. Vinny Anthony hit hard twice on the punt return. Again, another look at that schedule. To your point, the Alabama USC, you know, obviously your eyes go to that because of the quality of those opponents. It gives you perspective on those games even more now.
We went in today not really fully knowing who Wisconsin was, and now the challenge next week versus Purdue is to either confirm that or build on that. Excuse me, against Rutgers next week is to confirm what we saw today. And Rutgers they'll have their hands full as well today going on the road to Nebraska. But this season, 2-2 is, it's like, what do we want this season to be? That's why this win today was so important.
Dylan Jones, another run. Rutgers, by the way, isn't far out of the top 25. They're way up there on teams receiving votes. And if you were to win a tough road game against Nebraska, they would certainly make a case for being ranked. Obviously, what happens in front will
dictate that. I think they should be ranked.
I
thought Rutgers should have been ranked.
Outstanding win over Washington, to your point, last Friday night, 8 days ago.
On the road versus Virginia Tech, one of the hardest road environments.
I think the Virginia Tech-Miami game and that wild ending gives you a little bit more clarity on the impressiveness of that win for the Scarlet Knights.
I looking forward for Wisconsin. I'm very impressed by the way the offensive line played today. I think they can continue to lean on that group as the season gets tougher.
A lot of yards today, that's for sure, as we hit the 2-minute timeout at the end.
It has been a nearly perfect Chamber of Commerce afternoon at Camp Randall, as long as you're a Badger fan. The finish of an impressive Wisconsin performance coming up shortly. But don't forget, when they are done in Madison, keep it here because we have an amazing matchup between Northwestern and Indiana. Curt Cignetti's team looking to move to 6-0 for just the second time in program history. David Braun and the Cats hoping for what would be a huge upset. That's coming up next here on the Big Ten Network.
Wisconsin with a 52-6 lead here over Purdue. You know, one note about the Indiana Hoosiers involved in that game. Brady Simmons, son of interim offensive coordinator Jason Simmons, is a walk-on wide receiver, caught one ball of their big win earlier this year over Western Illinois. The nature of today's game did not give us much of a chance, Jake, to get into a lot of our conversation with Jason Simmons this week. It was a great conversation. You could tell how passionate he is about coaching and developing young men. He's been a very good high school football coach. He said, you know, we taught our children to run their own race. Brady Simmons wanted to walk on in Indiana. Brady said when he took the job earlier this year at Purdue, Dad, you taught us to run your own race. Go be at Purdue. And there'll be a little rivalry later on this year, obviously. But I know he envisioned for more out of today. But what a great guy.
Such a great guy. I mean, that was our big takeaway from the meeting. X's and O's aside, just how special of a man he is and how important that is for where their team is right now.
By the way, Winston Berglund for Purdue is the injured player right now. Linebacker Winston Berglund connects with, I mean, part of the idea of moving him into the position was his ability to connect with players. And the fact that he's been a head coach, he's talked in front of rooms, he's dealt with things before, Jake.
Yeah, and that's the strength. And Walters mentioned how much he likes his high school background. You just think about what makes a good high school team. Like, man, you have to be able to teach football.
Yes.
Football can be very complex. And for high schoolers, how well can you teach that will decide your team's success? Well, that's what Walters liked about his background. And then connecting with players, this is going to be a really tough film session for Purdue. You know, I was always taught when you win, that's kind of when you after a big win, that's when you come in on Monday and your coach kind of rips into you a little bit to let you know, hey, you're not as good as you think you are. When you lose a tough one, sometimes that's the opportunity to love up on your guys. That's when they need it most.
Part of coaching is certainly knowing when you have to pat somebody on the back or kick them in the butt.
Yes.
They're not very far away from each other, but obviously quite different.
The psychology of football, man. The psychology of a season, the ups and downs.
Another run for Dylan Jones. And that run by Jones is the denouement of today's game. Ending a two-game losing streak. Purdue's losing streak now, though, is 4. It's 18 straight wins for Wisconsin against Purdue. Today's 46-point win is their largest margin of victory ever for the Badgers against the Boilermakers. 18 straight, you see that note? By the way, C.J. Williams among many who stepped in and filled an important void with wide receivers like Bryson Green and Will Pauling getting banged up today.
A bunch of guys stepped up. Locke played his best game at quarterback, and, you know, there's in-game momentum. There's also